This meeting to order. If we could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next is the moment of silence. Thank you. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Present.
Trustee Reinders. Present. Trustee Lepore.
Present.
Trustee Muller.
Present.
Trustee Schaller.
Present.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Here.
Mayor Knightsky-Troicke. Present.
Next, we have community recognition. Tonight for community recognition, we have Olivia Adesco. Did I say that right? Did I get it right? Yeah? Okay, good. Maya Baggs. Did I say that right? What? Maya Baggas? Badges. Oh, hi, Maya. And Leah Barnes are three young ladies from Homer Glen with a giving and entrepreneurial spirit. They made and sold bracelets at various local spots within the village, including school events, to raise money so they could fill a local food pantry. Their efforts were successful as they were able to stock up not just one food pantry, but 3 local food pantries. In addition, they sent $50 to an animal shelter. As a result of their work, they have been invited to attend a future entrepreneur event. We are proud of these young ladies, their giving spirit, and their accomplishments. There is a saying, be the change you want to see in the world, and Olivia, Maya, and Leah are the living testament as they are making a positive difference in our community. If these girls represent the future, their future looks bright. Can you guys please come up so I can give you guys some certificates? And how about a round of applause for these? Olivia. Turn around and take a photo of Jamie, or for Jamie. Do you guys want to say anything on the microphone and tell them what you guys did? Come on over here. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Who wants to go first? All right, come on. Go ahead. Come on up. Tell everybody what you did and what made you do this.
So multiple times we were like, we're gonna start business, but then everybody kind of bailed out, and we were finally able to start one. And we decided we were just no reason at all, just to donate it all to the food pantry.
Because you found it in your heart to do that, right? Well, that's very kind of you guys to do that. Do you guys want to say anything? Come on up. Come on. Take the mic. Go ahead.
We decided to do a bracelet sale so we can help, so that if anybody's hungry, they can just go to the pantry and grab food, because some people don't really have enough money for food.
That's right, they don't. But we appreciate you guys doing this. You guys have done a lot for the community. You guys are sparking something in this community that we haven't seen in a long time. Did you want to say anything? Are you sure? All right, well, thank you, ladies. I will say with those food pantries, the little boxes, they go pretty fast. I mean, Supervisor Styling can attest to this, that those little food pantries, one day they have a ton of food items, and then an hour goes by and it's gone. So we really appreciate you guys taking the time and the efforts. And if you ever need help selling those bracelets, let us know. Okay, we can help promote you guys. All right.
Can I promote them real quick?
Sure, please. The microphone's right there.
No microphone. They will be selling their bracelets this Friday from 5 to 8 at Homer Junior High at the Young Entrepreneurs fundraiser that they're having that they put together. The school did. So $1 per bracelet is 3 for 5.
So it's December 12th.
Yes, Friday, December 12th.
At 5 o'clock at Homer Junior High for $1 a bracelet if you are interested in helping. And you guys will be taking that money and
Yes, for the pantry.
for the pantry. Look at that.
We'll let them have a few
Keep a few bucks for yourself. Buy some ice cream. All right, well, thank you, ladies. Okay, moving on to amendments to the agenda. Are there any amendments to the agenda? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
I'll second it.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Next is approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve October 22nd, 2025 Village Board meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Holzhauser, is there a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Mason, any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, is there a motion for November 12th, 2025 Committee of the Whole meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Mason? Trustee Muller, any discussion?
No, ma'am.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is there a motion for November 12th, 2025 Village Board meeting?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Trustee Muller, Trustee Reinders, any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to public comments. First, we have Sue Stylen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our supervisor for Homer Township. Welcome.
Thank you, and save me from saying that. As many of you may know, we have a big red building on 151st Street, and it's not completed. And so while we're looking for funds to complete the building, we are seeking community input. We want to know what the residents see as the largest need, what they would like to see the building used for. So we have posted a survey on Facebook, and it'll be up on our website tomorrow. So I'm just asking for your support and help in promoting the survey and encouraging your residents, and for all of those who are watching the meeting. It's just 3 simple questions, and then if you give us your email, we'll be responding with future surveys. And then on that note, I just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Thank you. Tracy Beeman?
That'll be me.
Well, hello and welcome.
Hey, how are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
Good. I am the owner of 12423 Homer Glen, and I am here for a variance.
Okay, so you're on the agenda?
I am on
We
the
can
agenda.
call you up at that time.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Heidi Pasella? Hello and welcome.
Hi, good evening. I'm Heidi Pasella. I'm here to discuss L7 on the agenda, which is the flock camera item. And thank you for the opportunity for allowing me to speak. I want to address the flock cameras because recently Homer Glen announced that they're one of the safest communities. So myself and other residents are wondering, why are flock cameras needed? So flock surveillance cameras, ALPR or LPR, which is automatic license plate readers, they can be a useful tool for helping solve crimes and investigations. But if you don't have the crime, what do you need the cameras for? I think of it like when you do studies and surveys for a road project, if the traffic volume is not there, why would you expand the roadway? You probably wouldn't. So if our crime is at, say, 7%, which is very low, what are the flock cameras needed for? Additionally, flock cameras can overstep individuals' Fourth Amendment rights, which protects citizens from unlawful searches and seizures. Unfortunately, flock cameras can also instill risky situations by its ever-growing vast collection of data that generates its own algorithm. I'll repeat that. Flock cameras generate its own algorithm, which means that it collects so much data. The data can be used initially as an investigation and then turned into something to generate a suspicion. By having flock cameras, it's equivalent to having a police officer stand on your block and take notes while you leave your driveway with your family, writing down what you're wearing, writing down that you have a tattoo, the color of your hair, the color of your eyes. If there's children with you, now multiply that by an army of law enforcement officers. That is what a flock camera surveillance system is. It's an army collecting data about everybody, everywhere. Also, they add in demographics, attributes, and other details. And that is how the surveillance infrastructure is being built. When the village brought this up in 2022, they said FLAC couldn't collect PII, which is personally identifiable information, and that's not true. FLAC cameras track every movement, connecting people to plates, building a mass surveillance system infrastructure. In August, the Illinois Secretary of State said that FLAC illegally shared data, and FLAC admitted that they did not create strong
30
enough
seconds.
compliance protocols. Even more recently, just last week, cities in Oregon announced that they are ending their FLAC cameras because of the vulnerabilities and the limitations. Hence, they terminated their contracts with FLAC with a multitude of civil rights cases. My suggestion to the village is that I hope that you look more into detail, not just through the FLAC system, what they provide, but look into attorneys that represent these people that are filing against villages and towns, and allow the kinks and other legislation to be passed before acquiring a web of FLAC cameras. Thank you.
Thank you. Lisa, Michael, you want to help me?
Michael Lasek.
Michael Lasek.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm here because I have an opinion about those FLAC cameras. I appreciate safety. I appreciate those cameras, the police, the services that are provided by all EMS. And I think if you were victimized directly, you'd probably have a different opinion of the FLAC cameras. So it's no secret, everything that we have in our daily lives, our phone, our cars, our credit cards, retailers, they all track us. They all track us. We're tracked 24/7. If you think we're not, think again. So as a resident, I have a few times that we have been impacted personally at our residence. We've had, where I feel that if the FLAC cameras were there, it would have been beneficial in capturing the criminals or, you know, the lowlifes that seem to think it's okay to prey on neighborhoods. You know, in the middle of the night, we had a FLAC camera outside our neighborhood. In the Meadows is where I live, and I was shocked that one day it was gone without my knowledge, without understanding that there was a vote on that. So I'm surprised that we're revisiting this in all the name of safety. We've had 2 individuals try to enter our home at 3 a.m. in the morning. Fortunately for them, they were not successful. It was their lucky day. We've had numerous vehicle break-ins, garages entered. You know, some of that's lax on homeowners leaving their vehicles unlocked. But needless to say, when you call 911, you want that help to arrive. It doesn't always come in the most timely manner. And as a victim and having these instances occur, the FLAC camera complements the hard work that our police officers provide for us. We pay taxes, a lot of taxes, and to me, we need to be proactive, and if you're not breaking a law, you know, your data's collected. So I think that's a moot point to be worried about. And I'll give you one more personal story, and it affects everywhere, but I was at another residence that I have, and I had an individual continuously come to our home. We did not know him. He, long story short, used to live in a
30
home
seconds.
prior to us. He was mentally incompetent. He showed up with a .45 caliber loaded with 2 mags. So had we had a FLAC, we probably would have been able to successfully catch him. And we were in the courts for a year. He did jail time. You know, it was our burden to catch him. So I'm all in favor of FLACs, and if I hope you guys consider that.
Thank you. Aaron Keenely?
Hello, my name is Erin Keneally. I'm a resident of Homer Glen. I am entirely sympathetic with what Lisa just said. I agree that there do need to be surveillance cameras when the kinks and when the legislation is worked out. It's a little too 1984-ish for me, and there are way too many lawsuits happening. It's okay to be prudent about how we kind of take over rights of people, but we also need to respect the fact that there are victims. So if we can get those kinks worked out, then I think it's a good idea. Until then, I'm against it. I'm very uncomfortable with it. Thank you.
Thank you. And Tim McGraw. Not the famous country singer Tim McGraw.
Are you sure?
But that is his real name.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. My name is Tim McGraw. I've been a resident of Homer Glen for 46 years. I'm a proud alum of LTHS, class of '97, and my family has resided here since 1966. My family has lived here a long time, long enough to know what this community values and what makes it safe, and what will destroy the trust between Homer residents and their government. And I'm here tonight to speak against the Flock AI surveillance system, a system some of the trustees continue to pursue despite residents overwhelmingly voting no for it in 2023. We settled this already once, we spoke loudly, but for some reason here we are. I want to be clear, these are not simple license plate readers or red light cameras. They are AI-powered, privately owned surveillance systems that do far more than anyone is admitting. They don't just read plates, they track everything. Your vehicle's make, model, color, unique identifying marks. It memorizes faces, your direction of travel, how long you stay somewhere, your daily patterns and routines, and even who you associate with by tracking which cars travel together and where you spend time. And they do this even if you don't have a plate on your car. This is not traffic enforcement. This is not about safety, as they do not prevent crime. This is mass surveillance and tracking done without a warrant or probable cause. And that matters because the Fourth Amendment protects us from unreasonable searches. Tracking an entire population every moment, every hour of every day without a warrant, without probable cause, and without suspicion, that is the definition of an unreasonable search. If this exact type of general warrant, it's this type of general warrant the founders fought a war to get rid of. There is no version of this technology that is compatible with American freedoms. Now, here's the part that should stop this dead in its tracks and is causing lawsuits and removal of the system nationwide. The city of Homer Glen does not own the cameras or the data that they collect. Flock does, and they sell your tracking data to anyone with money. So even though the cameras watch us, the city has no ownership of the data, no ability to limit who accesses it. There are thousands of current subscribers and municipalities, and hundreds of hackers have already broken into the system. They have no power to audit how it's used or how it's sold, no authority to delete the data permanently once it reaches Flock's private servers, and absolutely no way to protect residents' privacy. We don't know exactly what data is collected or who is accessing it. Here, let me just skip to the end there.
Mr. McGraw, would the board motion or entertain an additional 3 minutes?
I'll make that motion, ma'am.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I can tell you worked hard on that.
There we go. Because Flock owns the data, the city can't respond to FOIA requests. Multiple courts have already ruled that this data is public record, which means people can legally request it. The city is legally required to provide it, but the city can't because Flock controls it. So cities get sued, they lose, they cancel the contract, they remove the cameras, and they run up legal fees. And if it's not bad enough, Flock is tied to a nationwide network, accessible by literally anyone, anytime, if they have credentials or can hack the system. There are currently well over 5,000 agencies with access and tens of thousands of users. Any law enforcement agency in America can access Homer Glen's cameras without warrant or probable cause. No judge, no oversight, no probable cause, just the data exists. This should be terrifying to anyone who cares about liberty. This is not hypothetical. Cities across the country are canceling contracts, including Boca Raton, Florida, East Chicago, Indiana, Gainesville, Florida, and just recently, a couple days ago, 3 cities in Washington State. Now let's not forget something crucial. As other people have said, Homer Glen is the 7th safest municipality in the entire state of Illinois. We do not have a crime problem. We do not have meth labs. We do not have kidnappers, no violent crimes, no theft crews. The worst we have is kids on scooters and ding-dong ditching. To pretend this town needs a dragnet surveillance network is dishonest. I will skip to the closing here. To summarize, Homer residents already said no. The system is unconstitutional. The city doesn't own the data. The city cannot comply with FOIA requests, and agencies across the nation will have access. And final thing, as Benjamin Franklin once said, any man willing to give up liberty for safety deserves neither. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're now going to move on to reports and communications from the president and other officers. Village Manager Joe Baber, you're up.
Thank you. First off, I'd like to thank staff for the Homer for the Holidays event, which was held this last Saturday. They did a fantastic job. It was well attended, and we had a lot of positive feedback from the public and people who visited the event. I'd also like to thank Public Works Department for their efforts in keeping our streets safe during the periods of inclement weather. We got a little bit earlier this year, but they've seemed to be on top of it, so we appreciate their efforts there. And then finally, I'd just like to wish everyone a safe and joyous holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you. Village Trustees, we're going to go with Trustee Holshouser.
I would just like to piggyback on Village Manager Joe Baber. He kind of stole my thunder there. A great job done by Public Works doing the snow removal, and then great job by the staff with the Heritage Park lights. It looks beautiful out there, and I encourage everyone to check it out.
Thank you. Trustee Lepore.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just wanted to comment on the success of the dining coupon booklet that ran through October and November. It was a huge win for the village and a huge win for our restaurants. All participating restaurants gave very positive feedback, and the metrics we tracked showed this program was a big hit. Building on the success of the dining coupon booklet program, the Economic Development Committee is currently working on a new endeavor. Restaurant Week will run January 27th through February 10th. We're currently planning and coordinating with restaurants. There will be more on this to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Mason.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, I'd like to wish a Merry Christmas to all of our residents, our staff, and our fellow board members and ladies. I also want to congratulate Fire Chief Dave Bricker on his promotion. I'd like to thank Lieutenant Pete Piazza and the Will County Sheriff's Department for keeping us safe, especially through this holiday season. Traffic tickets issued are down, which is always nice. Deputy Duncan spent over 6 hours in locations where we have the most and the highest complaints of speeding, but even that is down. And last but not least, our Public Works Department for their endless efforts to keep our roads and our streets clear and clean. We've been hit with snow left and right lately. I see them out there salting and making sure that we're safe and dry. That's it.
Thank you. Trustee Reinders.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few things. Wanted to invite everybody to our January 14th board meeting. We will be giving a presentation. Lakota Group will be giving a presentation on the first phase of Heritage Park, including the water feature, the Veterans Memorial, and the pavilion. Also, I would like to thank Director Woods as well for what a great job he did. There was no snow on the roads, and if you went one suburb over, there was snow everywhere. And we've gotten so many compliments from a lot of the residents. So kudos to him and his department for really keeping up on that. And we're actually probably going to get more snow this weekend. Another thing, I would really like to congratulate Dave Bricker. He's a fine man. He's put in a lot of time in Homer Glen, and nobody deserves his promotion more than he does. One of the things I also wanted to talk about was the Homer for the Holidays. It was just a pleasure to be there. Everybody was having such a great time with the kids. I'd also like to thank the vendors. And I really would like to give a shout out to Mr. Kono. I mean, he gave away so many free donuts. His line was so long because everybody was getting free donuts and free hot chocolate. So it was, it's a pleasure to be able to see our community come together like that. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Muller?
I think everybody copied off my notes about Public Works. The first snow event was definitely significant. It wasn't the usual December dusting. And multiple people came up to me and said, hey, let Public Works know. They just did a fantastic job. And they truly did. I also talked to Director Woods on one of his days off after we had that windstorm. Saw a ComEd pole that was ready to fall into someone's backyard. By the time I was back home, he had already contacted ComEd. They were there and replaced the pole. It was astounding. Again, so just kudos to them. And again, wish everybody a Merry Christmas and safe travels through the holidays.
Thank you. Trustee Schaller?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm going to jump on the bandwagon about PW and our Parks Department for the Homer for the holidays. I was present for that. It was a great event, and year after year, our Public Works does a spectacular job with snow removal. That is nothing new. That's all.
Is it? Wow, that was quick and easy. Okay, Madam Clerk. Just wishing, excuse me, everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I did want to just give a little shout out to the Lockport Township High School varsity football team who made it to the Elite Eight, defeated the number 2 seed Barrington in an astounding game. I think it was 35-0. Made it to the Final Four and came up a little bit short in the last few minutes of the game. And, you know, unfortunately they were knocked out, but they are the 4th best team in the history of LTHS. Thank you. Thank you. Village Attorney?
Yes, briefly, thank you, Madam Mayor. We had a very productive conversation with representatives from Illinois American Water today in regards to Illinois American Water getting with the village and putting together a franchise agreement because they are currently utilizing our village right-of-way and property without an agreement put in place. If many of you know, we had passed a ordinance, or the village board passed an ordinance, I want to say 60 days back or so, which made it mandatory for all public utility-related companies to get with the village and put together a franchise or licensing agreement. We had a step in the right direction today in discussing the broader strokes of an agreement with Illinois American Water. And we look forward to seeing the first draft for first part of January. And we'll update you as more information becomes available. Thanks.
Thank you. Public safety officials? What did I just say? Yeah, public safety? Do you have any? Do you have anything to talk about that took place a couple hours ago?
I'm unaware of anything that happened within the village that was
45 minutes.
Critical incident.
Okay. Okay, well, that leaves me with me. I guess I can report on that. Roughly 45 minutes ago, the village of Homer Glen had a home invasion. From what I understand, I did get a call from the Will County Sheriff's Office that there was 2 males that entered a home after a woman arrived home, held the woman at gunpoint, robbed her house, and then stole her car. So please, when you come home, it is that holiday season where packages are left on the doors or you're pulling your car into your garage because you don't want snow on your car. Just be careful of your surroundings, check behind you before you enter into your garage, and make sure you're not being followed. I also want to give a shout out, big shout out, to the Ability Awareness Committee. They're working hard on providing a sensory hour for all of our events. For this past Homer for the Holidays event, we had an hour of sensory. And that's basically where you have a child or young adult with sensory concerns or issues. And it's a timed event, so basically where people could come in at a certain time to visit with Santa or do the activities where it's no bright lights, it's very quiet, and they have one-on-one time. So they are working really hard at being more inclusive, and I am very appreciative of that. Yes, of course, Public Works did an amazing job. We did have a few complaints, but once the complaints reached their ears, they tackled it, they got on it right away. And the residents were very thankful. And I wanted to thank the residents for giving Public Works grace. As you know, we can only allow our men to work so many hours during the snowfall, and the residents were really respectful and appreciative of the hard work that they've done. All right, I think that's all I have for right now. We're going to move on to consent agenda. The consent agenda is pretty long, so I'm going to be reading for a little bit here. Consent agenda, is there a motion to consider for approval the accounts payable for the period of November 15th, 2025 through November 27th, 2025 in the amount of $721,672.49. 2, consider for approval the accounts payable for the period of November 29th, 25 through December 11th, 2025 in the amount of $427,577.49. 3, consider for approval the treasurer's report of cash and investments for the period ending July 31st, 2025 in the amount of $52,024,859.41. 4, consider for the approval the reduction of the letter of credit for Black Rock Estates in accordance with the Village Code. 5, consider for approval an ordinance amending Section 83-66 A, B, and F of the Village of Homer Glen Code of Ordinances regarding license classifications and fees within the Village of Homer Glen, Will County, Illinois. 6, consider for approval an ordinance amending Section 138-4H of the Code of the Village of Homer Glen to update the improved accurate fair market value for park and recreation sites. 7, consider for approval the purchase and installation of a park sign with integrity sign for Old Oak Playground in the amount of $6,290. 8, consider for approval to approve the payment of an invoice for final payment of the concrete lifting mud jacking program to J&F Concrete Lifting in the amount of $14,160. 9, consider for approval an ordinance declaring surplus equipment from Public Works Department, a 2002 Case 580 SNWT backhoe authorizing its disposal. 10, consider for approval a payment for the Village of Homer Glen September and October legal bills combined from Peterson, Johnson, and Murray in the amount of $37,000.50. And 11, consider approval removing certain village improvements from the county's Bell Road County Highway 16 improvement project from 101st Street to Martingale Lane. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Trustee
I'll second.
Reinders and Trustee Mason. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Reinders. Aye. Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Laporte.
Aye.
Motion carries. We're going to move on to legislation and action items. L1, consider for approval a motion to pull from the table a request for approval of a variance to increase the impervious surface coverage from 40% to 44.46% to allow for the construction of a rear concrete patio at the property commonly known as 12423 West Walden Road, Homer Glen, Illinois, located with the R4 zoning district, case number HG2525-V. If approved, consider for approval an ordinance granting a variance to increase the impervious surface coverage. Should I read this again or wait till it's approved?
I'd read it again, ma'am.
Both of it?
Right.
All right, an ordinance granting it to increase the impervious coverage from 40% to 44.46% to allow for the construction of a rear concrete patio at the property commonly known as 12423 West Walden Road, Homer Glen, Illinois, located with the R4 zoning district's case number HG2525-V with the following condition. Applicant 1, applicant must pay permit fees for constructing a concrete patio and side walkway without a permit while also increasing impervious surfaces overall. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion, Mayor.
Trustee Reinders, is there a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Muller? Trustee Reinders, you have the floor.
Mayor, this was up before us, and we had asked if the applicant was here. Are you here, sir?
I am here.
There you are.
There you are.
You're back.
From what I understand, with the last in our last board meeting, you did contact Gallagher and Henry before you actually put this patio in, right?
Actually, no. The whole thing works like this. We went and signed a contract with Gallagher and Henry to have a home built here in Homer Glen. At the time that we were signing all the paperwork, we were dealing with Tina, the representative in the sales office in Kensington Hills. She said at that time that if we needed any additional concrete work, that their concrete people would be on site and that we were to deal with them directly.
Okay.
We moved in the house, closed in the house. Subsequently, in June of the year we moved in February, they came out to do the driveway so we could enter our property properly. At that time, I approached the concrete guy and said, hey, look, well, they told us to contact you directly if we needed a thing. I have, if you look at my property, it's sloped on one side towards the pond, which is fine. and I wanted to connect the driveway to the concrete pad that would be at the access door or the entry door to the side of the garage. He said, yeah, no problem. I said, also, I'm interested in putting a patio in my backyard, approximately 12 by 30, just to, so I can put some, you know, patio furniture out there, a place to sit. And at that time, he said that wouldn't be a problem. I had asked them directly if I needed to contact the village for a permit. And they said, no, that we have a pour permit that we have for the property and that we would handle it. And I said, that was fine. I assumed that they were a licensed contractor through Gallagher and Henry and in the village, that there would not be a problem. Concrete work was done. Gallagher and Henry came back out in the fall of that year, backfilled my property and graded it off for drainage. The following spring, before we were getting ready to put sod in, the village inspector apparently drove up, pulled in front of our house. I was outside, and he says, he didn't introduce himself, but he said he was at the village, and said that he noticed we had a patio in the backyard, and I said, yes, I do. And he says, well, we don't have a permit on record. I go, well, I don't know about that. I go, because it was done through the contractor when their driveway was poured. He says, okay, so we'll just come down to City Hall. He goes and fill out an application for a permit and pay the fee. He goes, and that should take care of it. And I did. It didn't take care of it. It kind of exploded a little bit. And then I had conversations with Taylor and a few other people here, over there, about the property, and that's when they were informing me about footages, and I'd asked them exactly how much footage we'd be talking about, because I would have to make a decision on whether or not I would probably either need to shorten the patio, remove the patio, or apply for a variance at that time, which was like $450, and I think I applied for one now, and it was $500 something. And also she informed me that I was 3%, that if I had only been 3% and not 4% over the limit, that they could have done it in-house without a variance. And I asked her if she could then go back to her supervisor or whoever she needed to talk to and find out whether I needed to apply for a variance or if they were willing to kind of fudge on that 1%, although I did not know what the square footage was at that time of that 1%. I didn't hear anything back from the village. I assumed the matter had
Been resolved.
rectified itself correctly, because we're talking 1%. I mean, it's a 4% overage, but if I'm given 3% on the signature, we're really talking 1% on a variance. I didn't hear anything back, and then subsequently this fall, we were going to put a fence in our property. We have a couple of dogs we rescued, not that that's here nor there. And then this whole thing kind of resurfaced again, and here I am.
Okay.
I made the board meeting 2 months ago, and at that time, they said that I didn't have to go to the other board meeting, which would have been you guys last month.
So right now, you're asking us for a variance.
I would like you guys to approve my variance
After all that.
after all of that.
Okay. Okay, well, I have no problem with it, Mayor.
Was it trustee Mueller next?
Yes.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions?
We're going to go around with all the trustees to give them a chance to speak, and then they'll vote.
No, the homeowner answered every question I would have had, so.
Trustee Shaler?
I have no questions. Unfortunately, I feel for you that the village did not reach out back to you with your phone call. You know,
Well, I have an email.
Okay.
Documentation.
I have no issues with this, and if you were here last month, it would have been approved then.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Trustee Holzhauser?
I have no issues. Sorry it took so long.
Trustee Lepore?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I would just say, always trust your contractor, but verify that the permits are in order. But I understand this is
I'm new to the area.
Understood.
Obviously, I can't. He's a licensed contractor for the city. He's got to be licensed to be in the city to do operations. He's also licensed to perform work for the builder. I'm assuming these guys are all on the same page. I'm getting information from, even though she's a saleswoman in a sales office, she still represents Gallagher and Henry as far as, you know, and why would I not believe her?
Understand your dilemma, but in the future, just keep this situation in mind if you ever have to do something like this again.
Oh, absolutely.
Trustee Mason?
I too feel as trustee Lepore that the contractor kind of put you in a bind on this one. I don't have any issues with it. In one area, you're over 7 square feet, another area, 37 square feet. I could sit here and go through it all, but it's a total of 554 square feet. It's not that major, but I think we need to keep our eye on the contractor now.
I do have one question though. I noticed your little drawing up there and it covers my covered patio. Does that include it in the concrete space?
Yeah, it is.
Well, the reason I'm saying that is because that's actually in the foundation of the house. That patio that you're looking at is not ground level. It's actually 4 feet elevated in the air, and it actually falls within the boundaries of the house itself as far as the footing of the house goes. And then that was a question I had when I attended the other board meeting. I asked that same question, which nobody seemed to answer, because it seems if you included that in the building, it would be like including my garage floor in my garage.
So here you go, I'll read it off for you. You had 292,976 square feet that was approved for your home and garage, and you're over by 7 square feet there. Driveway was 1,699, you're over by 37 square feet to 736. Your porch and front sidewalk was approved at 65, you're at 124, so you're over 59 there. So it was just an accumulation is what it was. And so your contractor really wasn't paying attention, and at some point you gotta know that an inspector is gonna come out.
Well, I have that question because I didn't have a site plan. I was never given a site plan. I was given one at closing as far as my packet goes, but at the time that they were doing all the work, and I actually, when this whole thing started originally, the first time, I actually had called the concrete guy and said, look, what's going on here? And he kind of, I don't want to say he chuckled, but he kind of chuckled and said, hey, look, he goes, we don't get a pour ticket for every item we pour. He goes, and we had the inspector come out, and we showed him the driveway, we showed him the front stoop, the sidewalk, and the back patio. So I was kind of in awe. I go, well, if you showed him all this stuff, and he would have been the one that would have had, obviously would have had a drawing of sorts to what was there, he would have seen what wasn't there, and I'm not blaming anybody.
And I think at that point, after based on what you just said, this is where we got our numbers from, because you're probably right. He did sit there and he probably took his notes, and that's where he realizes, okay, you're over here.
And personally, I'd have been happier if he'd have told him not to pour it.
Right.
Because then I could have settled this whole thing with the city and not ended up here, you know.
I think we're leaning in your direction.
I would appreciate that very much.
I think all we're basically stating here is please check your contractor. We're probably going to watch your contractor now because he obviously tried to pull a quick maneuver.
Well, it's just that Gallagher Henry's recommending to the homeowners, the people who are buying the houses, hey, deal with them directly. And then, like I said, when I contacted him when he was at the house, he said, oh yeah, we will handle permits. We have a pour ticket.
Right.
Are you done, Trustee Mason?
Absolutely.
I genuinely think this was just a matter of
stupidity.
Just miscommunication, and I do apologize that you had to go through this. I think they are leaning in your favor, so I'm going to ask the clerk to call the roll. That's why I was asking if I had to read it twice.
Do we need a motion to pull it from the table?
So that was the first question I asked. So I believe there was a motion to pull from the table, which was Trustee Reinders and Trustee Muller. So a vote should have been taken at that time to pull from the table. So can you just do a quick roll call to pull from the table?
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Shaler.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauer.
Aye.
Okay, so then the second one was the second motion that I had read, and it was with the condition that the applicant must pay the permit fees for constructing a concrete patio and side walkway without a permit, while also increasing the pervious surfaces of all. So before I ask to have the roll call called on that, do we have the totals?
$150.
Oh, and is that what you want us from him to pay, the $50? Okay, just for clarity. Is everyone still good? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Trustee Holzhauser and Trustee Mason.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Shaler.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Motion carries, sir.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Where do I go to pay the $150 so I can clear
Was
this
it
up?
150 or?
It's
Oh, I thought you said under 50.
150.
150. Now, that's for the 3 areas?
3 times the permit.
Correct.
Okay. So I owe $150. And who do I pay to?
Village of Homer Glen to the building department?
Okay, so I can go down there like tomorrow?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Again, I apologize. You will do
Thank you
that.
very much. You guys have been more
It's a
than
beautiful home.
more than gracious.
You have a beautiful home.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're moving on to L2. Is there a motion to approve an ordinance amending 83-68 of the Code of the Village of Homer Glen, increasing the number of Class B liquor licenses issued within the Village of Homer Glen? It is understood that the case number of Class B liquor licenses, restaurant and bar, will increase by 1.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Trustee Lepore and Trustee Mason. Is there discussion? Trustee Mason. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Trustee
Yeah,
Lepore.
thank you, Madam Mayor. I have no issues with this motion. Thank you.
Trustee Mason.
I barely know what he said, but absolutely. I
He was
don't
at
have any
He
questions.
was at the Green Bay Packers game. Let's not let him fool
Still getting
you.
the voice back.
No, I don't have any questions. I think this is something that is needed for this facility.
Trustee Holzhauser.
I second what Trustee Mason has to say too. It's needed for the facility. I look forward to it.
Trustee Schaller.
I have nothing further to add.
Trustee Muller.
I think it'll be a nice addition to our community.
I'm not going to call Trustee Reinders because she will abstain from her vote. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
You have to abstain.
Abstain.
All right. Item 3. Is there a motion for approval of an ordinance approving a minor change to a planned unit development for certain real properties located on the east side of South Sheffield Drive and the east and west sides of South Cardiff Court, Homer Glen, Illinois, commonly known as Goodings Grove, PUD Phase 2? And I do unfortunately have to read all of these PIN numbers, so bear with me. PINs 160501304002000, 160501304003000, 160501304004000, 160501304005000, 160501304006000, 160501304007000, 160501304008000, 160501304009000, and I've been saying oh, but I mean 0. 160501304010000, 160501304011000, 160501304012000. I'm almost done, guys. 160501304013000. And 160501304014000. HG2531-PUD. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Mason.
I'll second.
Trustee Lepore. Trustee Mason?
As you stated initially, these are minor changes. It looks like, this property sat dormant for 20 years. Lot 25 and 36 did not match the exhibits during the signed agreement on the attachment. So I do not have an issue with this, but bottom line, they're moving one of them, lot 36, 15 feet to the east.
Trustee Lepore?
Minor change to existing PUD. I have no issues. Thank you.
Trustee Holzhauser?
I have nothing to add.
Trustee Schaller?
No issues with these changes.
Trustee Muller?
No issues either.
Trustee Reinders?
No issue.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Reinders. Trustee Holzhauser.
Aye.
Trustee Muller.
Aye.
Trustee Schaller.
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 4, consider for approval an ordinance for several minor text amendments to change to Chapter 220 zoning of the Code of the Village of Homer Glen, including the following attachments and articles for case HG 2528A. Article 1, use and bulk tables for residential districts. Article 4, zoning districts and zoning map. Article 8, general provisions. Article 9, plan development. Article 10, site development regulations. And Article 11, non-conforming building structures and uses. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Reinders?
I'll second.
Trustee Muller. Trustee Renders? Yep, your microphone.
Mayor, these things were actually discussed at the Plan Commission. They're minor changes to some of the these are amendments and minor changes to the zoning. So I have no problem with it.
Trustee Muller?
Just like Trustee Reiner said, they're minor clerical changes and other minor changes. I have no problems.
Trustee Schaller?
No issues.
Trustee Holzhauser?
Just housekeeping.
Trustee Lepore?
No issues.
Trustee Mason?
I concur with my fellow trustees.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Reinders?
Aye.
Trustee Muller?
Aye.
Trustee Schaller?
Aye.
Trustee Mason?
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser?
Aye.
Trustee Lepore?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 5, consider for approval the closeout pay estimate for the Heritage Park parking expansion project in the amount of $226,487.80 to be paid to deconstruction. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
I'll second.
Trustee Reinders and Trustee Mason. Trustee Reinders?
Most of the work is actually completed in oh Jesus, I can't think of the name of it now, for the Heritage Park expansion, but we did hold back $21,133.37 because there are a couple minor things that couldn't be completed over the winter, so that we'll have to hold over to the spring.
Trustee Mason?
I agree. There's a couple small punch items on the list, and that's it. They should be paid for what they did.
Trustee Lepore?
I have no issues, and it's under budget by $367,453.45. Thank you.
Trustee Holzhauser?
I have no issues.
Trustee Schaller?
No issues.
Trustee Muller?
No issues.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Reinders?
Aye.
Trustee Mason?
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser?
Aye.
Trustee Muller?
Aye.
Trustee Schaller?
Aye.
Trustee Lepore?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 6, consider for approval an ordinance amending Section 83-541A of the Village Code, licensing and regulating video gaming within the Village of Homer Glen, Will County, Illinois. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Schaller?
I'll second.
Trustee Mason? Trustee Schaller?
This ordinance would repeal Homer Glen's 365-day waiting period for video gaming licenses adopted April 10th, 2024. Businesses already must secure village liquor licenses and complete state of Illinois licenses and background processes, often taking several months, before any terminals can be activated. Adding an additional full year is therefore redundant, delays responsible operators and places Homer Glen establishments at a competitive disadvantage compared to our surrounding communities. The village previously eliminated the waiting period in 2021 without adverse impacts, and the A&F committee has recommended approval by a unanimous 4-0 vote, and I support repealing the one-year waiting period. That is all.
Thank you. Trustee Mason?
I don't know if I can say it better. Well said. Well, we want to help our businesses. The wait period's a little bit long. We want to make sure we're competitive. 4-0 in A&F. I actually sit in A&F, so we beat this up pretty good before it ever got here.
Trustee Lepore?
I agree with my fellow trustees. I have no issues. Thank you.
Trustee Holzhauser?
Bob couldn't have said it better myself.
Trustee Muller?
I think a business has 6 months to prove itself, and they're worthy of it. I have no issues.
Trustee Reinders?
We discussed this at length in A&F, and we all agreed that we should shorten the time period.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Schaller?
Aye.
Trustee Mason?
Aye.
Trustee Reinders? Aye. Trustee Lepore?
Aye.
Trustee Muller?
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 7, consider for a proposal from Flock Safety from 12 license plate cameras, solar power, wireless network, installation, poles, and cloud hosting in the amount of $57,150 and the annual subscription of $49,500 for a total of $106,650. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Trustee Schaller, is there a second?
I'll second.
Trustee Muller. Trustee Schaller?
Mayor, Madam, I have 2 letters of support regarding the village's consideration of flock safety LPR cameras. I request it be made part of the record for agenda item 7 and attached to the minutes as an exhibit, and I can make a motion.
I'm sorry, I'm getting, what's that? I'm going to ask for unanimous consent
Yeah, to make it part of the record.
to make it part of the record.
Hearing no objection.
Hearing all objections?
It's part of the record.
So it's part of the record. So you,
Would the attorney want me to read in exactly what was received?
sure.
Sure.
Yes, please.
Motion to receive and file the November 24, 25 letter of support from Orland Park Police Chief Eric Rossi regarding Flock Safety Technologies LPR camera system, and to direct the village clerk to include it as a supplemental document to Agenda L7 and attach it to the minutes as Exhibit 1. I have a second, which is an email that the board received whole at 2:54 p.m. from resident Carol Lindy. If we can attach that also, included as a supplemental document to Agenda L7 and attach it to the minutes as Exhibit 2.
Do I have to give that speech again or no? No, okay. Thank you. Is that all? Do you have?
No, I'm
Okay,
just starting.
Nope, okay. Just,
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I've spent more than 28 years in law enforcement, including serving as a chief of police. I've seen what actually helps solve crime quickly and, just important, prevent residents from becoming victims. As we've heard earlier in the mayor's home invasion speech that occurred in town earlier today. LPR is one of those tools when it's paired with strong rules. Illinois already set real limits, and we can add even stronger local safeguards. ALPR data is not something the public can pull through FOIA, and it is treated as confidential law enforcement information. Illinois has clear guardrails around how LPR information can be used and shared, and locally we can go further and make our program even tighter by policy. Limit access to trained personnel only, being the Will County Sheriffs only. Require a valid law enforcement purpose for each search, log and audit access, and adopt a shortened retention period such as 7 days with an automatic purge, unless a record is tied to an active investigation. That's how you get public safety value without turning this into general surveillance. I also want to address the previous referendum Homer Glen had regarding Flock LPR. The public question was an advisory referendum and did not pass. I respect that outcome. I understand why people were cautious. But since then, times have changed, laws and policy expectations have changed. Across the country and here in Illinois, there have been an increased attention on what data can be collected, how long it can be retained, and how it can be shared. Communities adopt tools like LPR are expected to put stronger, clearer safeguards in writing. So tonight isn't about ignoring that prior vote. It's about responding to what we learned from it. If the village chooses to move forward now, we do it with better guardrails, stronger transparency, real auditing, and a short retention. So residents know exactly what the system can do and what it's prohibited from doing. I understand why residents have privacy questions. We should take those seriously. But it's also important to recognize that all of us in this room already are recorded in public and commercial spaces every day. Our phones, our iPhones, all the apps that are on there collect location data unbeknownst to us and even when you're least expected. Many businesses use security cameras, doorbell cameras, video systems to protect customers and employees. Banks, shopping centers, parking lots record activity for safety and fraud prevention. The difference is those systems are mostly private and spread out. What matters here is if the village adopts LPR, we do it with clear written limits, transparency, auditing, and short retention. So this stays narrowly focused on public safety, not broad monitoring. Homer Glen is a safe community, and we want to keep it that way. What we heard earlier today sometimes comes into question. But we're not isolated. Stolen vehicles, burglary crews, organized retail theft rings, and offenders moving between towns do not respect municipal boundaries, as we heard earlier. Surrounding agencies already use LPR. When we don't, we become the place criminals can pass through with less risk of being detected. LPR helps close those gaps at key entry and exit points. LPR is designed to alert law enforcement when a plate is associated with a legitimate law enforcement need, like a stolen vehicle, a missing person, or a serious investigation. This is not a traffic camera system. It is a tool. It's a tool to identify known problem vehicles quickly so officers can respond faster and more safely. ALPR captures a license plate and basic vehicle descriptors, the time, the date, and location of the read. It does not One more time. It does not identify the driver. And with the right policy, it's not general tracking system. It's a targeted tool used for specific law enforcement purposes with access controls and oversight. As trustees, we're responsible for policies that protect the public, respect privacy, and use taxpayer dollars responsibly. A properly governed LPR program checks those boxes. Limited access, audited use, restricted sharing, and short retention. I support the resolution, and I respectfully ask my fellow trustees to vote yes to keep Homer Glen safe and let the Will County Sheriffs use a modern tool to deter crime. That's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee Schaller. Trustee Muller.
The sergeant following the chief is always fun. That was definitely that's a hard one to follow because every point in there is extremely important and spot on. A little bit more of the nuts and bolts of it. Just today, a municipality to the north had nothing more than a Ring camera image of a vehicle. A little looking around with the LPRs, they were able to make an arrest in a just over $30,000 Porch Pirate package theft ring, just this morning. South suburbs have been getting hit. The gaming machines and ATMs have been getting burglarized almost every night from the north to the south. The vehicle's been entered into flock. The agencies are alerted when those vehicles come into town, and it's a crime deterrent. It's not the big brother. You're alerted to the offending vehicle coming into town. All of a sudden, there's a lot of police activity in the area. The criminals see that, and they're going to keep moving. Aside from the criminal element of it, we've used it numerous times with locating Alzheimer's patients that have just been out driving around for hours and hours and hours. Uncle so-and-so was out in his '84 Lincoln for the last 7 hours driving around. He thinks he's on his way to go play golf with his buddies, who obviously that's not the case. The flock cameras, the LPRs have been a huge help in locating those in medical emergencies. And just recently, the criminal element has gotten their hands on the same maps of the flock camera systems and other LPRs that law enforcement has. And it's now on record that they are targeting areas without them, and they're using the areas and different routes that do not have LPRs as their avenues of escape, and also areas to commit further crimes. And again, Trustee Schaller hit on more points than I'll ever come up with. That's just in the recent couple of weeks, some examples of how the LPRs have really benefited law enforcement and the residents of the communities which they serve.
Thank you, Trustee Muller. Trustee Reinders.
Thank you, Mayor. On a little different note, it's our responsibility as trustees to worry about the safety of our residents. We work together with our Sheriff's Department, and we could say that we're a safe village, but one crime is one crime too many in this village. I've personally, on a personal note, I've personally witnessed my friend being traumatized, the trauma that she and her kids are still going through when somebody pointed an AK-47 at her and her 2 sons in their driveway and then stole their car. I said, I see her at least once a week, and her kids still do not want to stay home by themselves. So as a village, if we could just prevent anything like this happening, in the incident today, if we could have prevented something like that, and I'm not to say that we're never going to see that kind of crime, but if we could prevent that, it's the one instance in saving somebody's life or catching a criminal and taking them off the street is better than nothing at all. It took them so many hours to find those 2 guys that pointed those AK-47s at them. It took them so long, but you know how they found them? They found them with the flock cameras. So I could understand some of our residents feeling that, you know, oh, Big Brother's going to be watching over us. If we have a chief and a sergeant here on this board. They will be instrumental in putting together whatever rules or regulations that have to be put in place to protect our residents. They have given both of their lives here to protect their police forces and their residents that they protect. They will make sure that this village has everything that it needs so that nobody's watching over us or selling our information or anything like that. But one crime prevented is one crime that really would save somebody, that could save somebody's life. That's all I have, Mayor.
Trustee Mason?
I think all the trustees have had good positions on this. I think, you know, I'm just thinking a month and a half ago, we had one of my friend's wives right here in Homer Glen with her 2 children, held at gunpoint in her driveway, stole their vehicle. You know, people say we're the 7th safest community, which we are. We know that, but for how long? Protecting and stopping this type of activity or stopping a person from becoming a victim or for even maybe something worse like being injured ahead of time and being proactive, I think is extremely important. The referendum a few years back, and again, we take everything into consideration, but times are changing. We understand what that was. I'd rather be proactive. I talked to Lieutenant Pete Piazza, I've talked to Will County, I sit on the safety committee. When you look at a map of our surrounding area, we're a huge hole. We're a huge hole in the map. Everybody else has it. As Trustee Reinders had just stated, the reason those other individuals were caught was because another municipality did it for us. The men who invaded tonight and what transpired at this woman's home, held her hostage, put her at gunpoint, invaded her privacy, pillaged her belongings, took cash and valuables from her. I'm not even sure how she feels at this moment, but I'm sure it's not very good. The final report that came from Will County is that if they had the flocks in place right now, they would already have these criminals in custody. So my son's also an officer. I've asked him about this. I've talked to Trustee Schaller and Trustee Muller about this as well. And I don't think any officer is using this for nefarious reasons. If my son's pulling up something for no good reason, he could lose his job, his career. I don't think anybody's doing that. We're trying to protect our constituents. We're trying to protect our neighbors, our friends. So I agree with everything that's been said here so far, and I probably haven't touched on as much as, you know, we possibly can. An elderly person being lost. There's so many reasons for this.
Thank you. Trustee Lepore?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to table L7.
So a table does supersede the motion on the floor. Is there a second for table? I'm going to call for a table again. Okay, the motion to table has failed.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. After researching flock camera program and listening to concerns of our residents, I cannot support flock cameras in Homer Glen. I believe the will of the residents must be the primary focus of this debate. As recently as 2023, a referendum voted on by Homer Glen residents for the implementation of this flock camera system was soundly defeated. The vote was a clear rejection of the camera system, and to push this agenda in light of a resounding no vote from the residents is something I will not support. We as trustees are voices for the residents. If we forget that, I don't think we may have lost focus on why we're here. Furthermore, the constant supervision of our day-to-day lives is the opposite of what American people should expect from our government and is a clear overreach of the powers we grant our elected officials. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Holzhauser?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And thank you to all the trustees for all of their opinions. I really was on the fence when I came in tonight about this, and it was mostly for the advisory referendum that we had in 2023. However, considering the latest news we had tonight, Trustee Schaller's points, I really can't argue with being proactive, and looking at the cost of this, I don't see it as too much of an outlay to protect our citizens. So with that, I'll yield.
Attorney, do you have anything to add? I know I had asked some questions regarding the concerns I had regarding the potential, with the other towns where they were discontinuing their services and why, and all the rumors going around about lawsuits and all that. I just
Sure.
wanted clarity.
The two that there were discussions about were specifically Oak Park and also Evanston. And it's our understanding from looking over the reports in both of those municipalities that there was unauthorized sharing of information. So both of those cities had adopted some sort of an ALR camera system. They had protocols put in place, and unfortunately, those protocols were not strict enough, and there were some sort of sharing provisions with federal law enforcement that were unauthorized. In addition, we have, as Chief Schaller or Trustee Schaller noted, there's the provision of the Illinois Trust Act, which is very, very strong, which basically prohibits law enforcement from sharing that sort of information that's currently in existence, and it currently stands. There was another case out recently in Virginia where where the Virginia Appellate Court pretty much upheld the use of, certainly it's in a different jurisdiction, so it's not binding here in Illinois, but upheld the constitutionality of using cameras for that limited purpose. There is divergent views in constitutional law on these issues, but when you're talking about limited time, scope, and matter, that typically falls outside of the warrant and probable cause requirement under the Fourth Amendment, and that's typically what we see in cases throughout the nation right now. When they try to make a comparison between cell site location sort of systems, which are very intimate data, which is collected for a long, long period of time over an individual person, versus a 7-day picture, which is tracking a license plate, which is limited in time. And that's where you have the distinction between areas under the law where they deem it being constitutionally protected, where it's intimate, prolonged, and dealing with all assets of someone's life, an individual's life, as opposed to limited in scope, time, and matter for a very narrowly tailored law enforcement purpose. So that's the information, ma'am, that we received.
Thank you. Any more statements from the Board of Trustees? No.
You know what, I would just like to add one thing, and I think this is something that we have to take into consideration as well. We might be the safest, but we're also a target here. You know, we have Home Depot, we have Menards, and we have Meijer, and we have Jewel. And this is where we have seen a lot of crime in that area there. They target those areas. I remember a couple years ago, where B&I is on 159th, they stole every tool, and they actually went through a wall and stole every tool in the place, and it never caught them. They stole hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of tools. If we had something like this in place, we would have been able to track them. And I just worry about the future, only because of the fact that crime is increasing all around us, and I think we need to be really prepared for this. That's all I have.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Schaller?
Aye.
Trustee Muller?
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser?
Aye.
Trustee Reinders?
Aye.
Trustee Lepore?
No.
Trustee Mason?
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to item 8. Consider for approval an ordinance prohibiting the possession, marketing, and sale of kratom in any of its forms to minors. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Mason?
I'll second.
Was that Muller's? Trustee Muller? Trustee Mason?
Yes, ma'am. This is something that started about a year ago. It started with myself and Village Manager Baber. It was brought to our attention that the vape shops, tobacco shops, and gas stations in the area of Homer Glen were selling kratom. And we've had since then many, many meetings. This has been through Public Services and Safety Committee. We unanimously support this. I, in fact, have championed this, and you know, even Kratom right now is sitting in the state, and it's been there, and they have an 18 and under, but we cannot step on their processes, but it's been sitting there for some time, and they wish us not to ban it. We had somebody come in from Washington, D.C., and sit here and champion the cause of keeping it in its natural form. So bottom line, Kratom is used by military veterans after the fact with PTSD. It's also used for pain management. It's no more harmful than a tea leaf in its natural form. But what's happening is they're mixing it with 7-0-H, which is a synthetic compound. Bear with me on the name. I think it's hydroxymetadine that they mix it with. It hooks to your opioid receptors, and you almost have to do what you do for heroin to get off of it once they start mixing it with its synthetics. What I'd like to do is, I don't care what you do as an adult, I get it in its natural form. It's helping some people with joint pains. It's helping some people with post-traumatic stress disorder. It's helping people with pain management, and if you're an adult, you should be able to do what you want, but I want it in its pure form. I would like to see it be age 21, and that's what this does. And I don't want it marketed towards children, looking like a candy package, looking like a cereal box, anything out of that order. So that's what this is about.
Thank you. Trustee Muller?
No, everything that Trustee Mason said, and he's been spearheading this for quite some time. And it's just one more thing we can do to keep our kids safe and just keep it out of their hands.
Trustee Shaler?
There's nothing more that I can add. Trustee Mason has researched this to no end. It is very detrimental to our young kids that take that. It's unregulated, and no one knows exactly what's in there.
Trustee Holzhauser?
No, I have no issues.
Trustee Lepore?
No issues, thank you.
Trustee Reinders?
I would just like to give a kudos to Trustee Mason for all the
Mike.
research that he did on this. I mean, I know we've been talking about it for the last couple months, and he took the initiative and researched all of the information and brought it back to us. So I have to say I commend you for that.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Mason?
Aye.
Trustee Muller?
Aye.
Trustee Lepore?
Aye.
Trustee Shaler?
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauser?
Aye.
Trustee Reinders?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, moving on to old business. I brought this on old business discussion with possible action. A, the status of Community Development Committee moving forward, and B, if agreeable, to keep the committee, consider appointing a resident to hold the position of chairperson. So the reason I brought this up, and this was, I brought this up a while ago, and then I've had many discussions with Village Manager Joe Baber, and then I talked to the trustees individually about this, and I even roped in Madam Clerk on this discussion as well. I talked to some of the members of this committee as well. So the reason why I brought this up is majority of the trustees are on a committee or chair a committee, and then Trustee Holzhauser and Trustee Shaler were appointed, leaving them with no committee to sit on currently, and the Community Development Committee is available. I know that Trustee Shaler had expressed some interest of chairing the committee, and I know that Trustee Holzhauser expressed interest of sitting on the committee. We kind of picked committees before they were brought on in their entirety, so I just wanted to take a moment now, see if there was anything that any current trustee that is sitting on a board that would like to vacate one. I mean, I know this is more towards the community development, but just keep in mind if you want to vacate one or move one or take on the development committee, community development committee, by all means, we can discuss it. This is more so about the community development right now. Trustee Styland chaired it before, but after she moved on to supervisor, the committee was left vacant. One of the committee members, Dan Kenny, had expressed interest of chairing the committee, but as our ordinance and our SOPs say, we do have to bring it to the trustees first, and then a staff member, and then a resident. The vision for this community development committee, in my mind, is changed a little bit since it started. I would like to see more community recognition. I think Madam Clerk does a great job. Even tonight, she spoke on the Lockport and gave all these stats and winnings and all that. She's really good at, like, with the Stallions and Lockport football and whatnot, and we recognize those 3 young ladies tonight. Those are things I'm kind of looking for this committee to do. You know, I believe we should have an officer of the year or a business of the year, or just throwing ideas and suggestions out there. Trustee Holzhauser and Trustee Schaller, you don't currently sit on a committee, and it's typical that every trustee does. Is this a committee that you're willing to take on, chair, co-chair, bring Candace on, or I'm sorry, Madam Clerk on? How would you guys like to proceed?
When does this committee meet? Because I think I looked at this, and while I'm interested in sitting on committees, I do have schedule restraints. So was this a Thursday one?
I don't remember the exact time, but we did just approve a calendar. I can't remember what the community development was on there, but you can change the time and the date of the committee as long as there's time available for the meeting. So if you have time restraints, I understand. In the history of trustees always chaired or sat on a committee. With the last recent board, we did have one trustee decide to say he doesn't want to do anything, which is not typical, but I would hope and expect that the trustees serving on the board would also serve on a committee. Oh, I got a calendar right here. Thank you, Brett Westcott, for providing that so quickly. Is that from you?
That was.
Oh, he got up and moved. I thought it was him. Okay, sorry. Sorry. Thank you, Trustee Mueller. Thank you, Trustee Mueller. The Community Development Committee. I don't even see it on here. Probably because it's up in the air? Right. So I guess you can pick the dates and times. So, I mean, assuming that there's times available, it looks like we got a pretty packed schedule. But it does, you said Thursdays were an issue? I mean, third Wednesdays of the months are open. We got Fridays open, which is not typically a day that we like to have meetings on.
Yes. I'd like to review kind of our calendar overall and see what days and times would be available.
Sure.
And then discuss, I'm sorry, I had to step out. I don't know who's going to be chairing this here, but kind of look at the available dates and times that would be for this committee.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the question is, does a trustee want to take this role on? Because I think it's important, because we are skipping a lot of proud moments that our village should be on top of. We just had promotions for our fire chief and whatnot, and it would really be nice to stay on top of these things. If you two want to at least take it slow and get your feet wet, I know Madam Clerk is very good at this. I know our ordinance does say, I mean, I don't know how that would play into it, because it does say you have to ask the trustees first, which I technically think it should say elected officials. So that would include the clerk, because when I was a clerk myself, started the Ability Awareness Committee, and I didn't get to chair it because I was a clerk. So
she's also a resident in the private sector.
Right, but you have to ask trustees first, then staff, and then a resident. So it's up to you guys. What do you think, Trustee Schaller?
Madam Mayor, since this is near dear to your heart, I would like to chair this.
Oh, thank
and I would
you.
love to have the clerk come along with the ride.
Yes, that is great. See, that's team spirit. I love it. And Trustee Holzhauser will jump on.
I would love to sit on it.
This is teamwork at its finest.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so granted, it does say discussion with possible action. So I believe we can make a motion to appoint Trustee Schaller as the chair, Madam Clerk as the co-chair, or did you wish to start off as chair and then bring Candace on as the committee member? Let's start with that.
I'm an easygoing guy, whatever anyone else wants to do.
Madam Clerk, would you like to co-chair the committee? Oh, look at that, how fun. And Trustee Holzhauser, you would like to sit on as a committee member?
Yes,
perfect.
please. Yes,
all right,
please.
so I am looking for a motion to appoint Trustee Schaller as the chair, Madam Clerk as the co-chair, and appoint Trustee Holzhauser as a committee member of the Committee of the Whole.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll
Trustee Reiner.
second.
Trustee Mason.
Not the committee of the whole.
I mean, not Committee of Whole. I'm so sorry. The Community Development Committee. Thank you. Thank you. In fact, you guys can do that too if you'd like. Okay, any more discussion on that? No. Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Reinders is first, right?
Aye.
Trustee Reinders.
Aye.
Trustee Mason.
Aye.
Trustee Chiara.
Aye.
Trustee Lepore.
Aye.
Trustee Mulder.
Aye.
Trustee Holzhauer.
Aye.
And motion carries. Thank you guys very much. Is there a motion to go in executive session for 1, discussion regarding personnel, 2, discussion regarding pending litigation, 3, executive session minutes, and?
No, we can't.
No, can't do what?
If there's, we can't talk about public utilities because it's not on there.
Oh, and we can't talk about public utilities because it's not on there. Is there a motion to go in for those 3 items?
Is there anything that we can say about old business before we do that?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Is there any more old business?
Yes, ma'am. I just wanted some things that I neglected to left out during the kratom discussion. It has not been FDA approved. As Trustee Scheller alluded to, the DEA has not scheduled this as a narcotic yet, but that's the federal government. This is kratom, L8, I believe it was. And we actually had a young man overdose. I'm not sure I mentioned that a month and a half ago, and he actually called the village because he wanted us to know about it. And I want to thank our EMA Director, Ron Kuss, and Mr. Pasquinelli for putting this together for us. The first offense, so they have to be 21 or older to purchase this now. The first offense of selling this to a minor is $1,000, and the second offense could be the suspension and revoke of their business license.
Thank you for including that.
Thank you.
All right.
So
Yes,
here-
wait.
We can talk about, as long as it's mentioned, it doesn't matter if it's on paper, as long as you mention it before we go into executive session.
I'm going to let the attorney address that. We're not going to discuss it tonight. We're just going to discuss these 3. Okay. Trustee Reinders, did you have something else?
Mayor, I just wanted to let the record reflect, in regard to the flock cameras, that in my strip mall that my business resides in, my business was broken into, the T-Mobile was broken into, and it was robbed in broad daylight, and also the gaming, Dottie's Gaming, was also robbed. So I just want the record to
Remember
reflect
that.
Thank you. Okay, anything else for old business? No? Okay. Now, I asked for a motion to go in executive session.
I'll make the motion.
Trustee Mason and?
I'll second.
Trustee Reinders, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll be back in 5 minutes.
Wowzer.